It's hard. And I watch it now, and I'm like, okay, well, I knew going in that I had sort of this retired FBI agent back in the field, drinking a little bit, and I kept asking, how can I portray that in a fresh way? But I did kind of, because the plot of the story is so sort of like out there, it's a little wiggy. I mean, you have to sort of, buy into just what's happening. I wanted to make sure that we had the comfort of a hero. The comfort of a tragic, broken hero, and then as the series develops, I can sort of peel him away and sort of show him differently. Well, you let him know. And welcome to my next week. But I was just talking to Marcus, and we're like, well, how do we let so-and-so know that, there's not going to be that many more episodes. You know what? It's just the fun of the show. We learned on Vampire Diaries how effective it is to, in the first season, that was a big game changer for us. We took a leading character and we whacked him, like boom, and it was just like, whoa, did that just happen? And the audience, and I feel like at that moment, we turned into a different show. We kind of grew up, and it worked for us. And I just think it's good storytelling. If you can get someone emotionally involved and then defy expectations, it's so hard. We've seen everything before. I mean, I see everything coming when I watch television, and I go to a movie, and so I'm just trying to change things up a little bit, tell a story in a different way. This is still a story about good versus evil, and it's classic: bad guy, good guy. But hopefully, I want to spin it in a way in which is at least emotional, and you care about it, and then maybe kill people. It wasn't the easiest thing to do, but I did kind of. I was when it was very sort of like I was talking to my agent. I was just like, I want someone like Kevin Bacon. And he goes, well, he's represented here. He's at this agency. He's thinking about TV, but he was looking for cable. He didn't want to do network television, and so he only wanted to do like 12 episodes. And so then that was a big sticking point. It's like I couldn't even get, I don't think he was even going to read the script. But then he had asked his agent, what's the best script out there this year? And he goes, you're not going to like it, it's broadcast. And he read it and went, oh. And then they figured out a way to reduce the number of episodes, which works better for me. Oh yeah, it was a whole strategy. I was like, yeah, go to just say you'll only do this many, because it's the better, And then when we actually took it to Kevin Riley at Fox, he was like, sure, because his whole goal was, he's tired of seeing, broadcast television get swept. It's watching cable, still the thunder of broadcast television. Because it does. And so he said, you know what, there's no reason we can't have a cable-like show on our network. And so that's how they're approaching it. This is a cable show. This is not, we're going to do something different. So, it's so weird. I got this idea when I was first writing Scream 1. And then I went down the Scream route. And then I sort of sat on it and I played around with various, is it a cop show? Is it a serialized serial killer show? At first I thought, well, maybe this is the first case. And then it ends and we go on to another case. It's a show about a cop, but I'm not the procedural guy. And then the show was just such a different, I felt in my mind it was a different show than what was on TV. And so I felt like no one's going to buy it. I don't know what it is. And then in the last 5 years, we've discovered the hybrid show. And I feel like it's something like The Good Wife. And is that a lawyer show? The characters in an office drama? Is it a love story? Is it a story, just a character story about a woman who just sort of wakes up one day after this horrible marriage? I mean, what is that show about? It's a lot of everything. And I love that show. And then I looked at all these cable shows. They're hybrids. And so this is a hybrid. And I'm like, okay, now's the time. Well, it does hinder us a little bit in terms of just like, honestly, the reality of it. Like when you really look at serial killers, they're really motivated by some really gruesome things. And certainly we can't show that stuff. But I also feel like it challenges you to be scarier. Like, how can I make this scary? You don't have to show, it's like, I don't need to see someone carve out eyeballs. The idea that someone's carving out eyeballs freaks me out.
Well, you succeed.
It freaks. If I know you're going to cut out my eyeballs and then I see an ice pick, I don't need to see it. The idea alone is scary enough. And so I think that's sort of, there'll be some of that. We will be challenged about the good. And I don't mind. I don't like Hollywood. I'm not the bloody guy. I like scary. like emotional scares.
Every episode is
Well,
that like a plan?
Yes and no. I mean, it's going to, yes, it will. There'll be moments of all of that throughout. Now, will it be, and we're really setting up a lot in the pilot. Now, we do launch into that sort of thrill ride. It does move like that. The next, I mean, I keep saying that we're going to try to sort of balance it out so that everyone can breathe. But the next episode is just as tense like that. Because, I mean, they're trying to find, you know what's happening. They're on the run. And they're trying to get ahead of a very, very dangerous thing. And they're just sort of they're discovering it as it's happening, and the body count starts to rise, and it gets out of control, and everyone gets scared. And then there's a love story to tell too. I mean, that's the fun part, is we get the flashback, and we get to show all these key moments in their lives, and we get to sort of show Joe and Claire and what happened 8 years ago and who they are today, and it's gonna be fun.
So can I send you my bill for therapy and Xanax
No.
at the end of the season?
But I mean, I feel like we haven't had a show. I want a roller coaster. I like these kind of shows. Do you guys watch 24? Where's 24? I want 24. I miss Jack Bauer so much. And that show went like this. I love that show. Joe Carroll killed Marty, destroyed him. He's the dead man. He's a walking dead man. And this is his opportunity. And now you've got your villain, the person you hate, saying, "I can bring you back to life. Take it." You keep, throwing in the bait. And come back in. Let me bring you back to life. And what's he going to do when he gets him right back to where he needs to be? So kill him again. It's a powerful scene. It's going to be a fun story, and it's going to be how can I stop that from happening again? But at the same time, take the part of it I need. Yeah, it's chapter 2. It's like what happens when. It's about second chances, which is kind of when you look at it as a writer, that's you write what you know, and I sort of feel like that's what I've evolved to. So he's physically, emotionally, and spiritually bankrupt, Brian Hardy, and to sort of watch him get challenged in different ways every week, attacking those things, I think could be really powerful. It's going to be fun to watch Kevin Bacon do it.